The Summer I Turned Pretty has a glamorous cast with a perfect touch of teen drama. But did you know that most of the actors playing the roles of teens aren't actually in their teenage years? Well, let's get into it and spill some beans. Chung. You would be surprised to know that Jackie was able to pull off a role half her age and gave one of the best performances of her career with absolute grace. Jackie pretty much outperformed herself on the show with her role as Laurel, Belly and Steven's mother. But when it comes to her age, Jackie is anywhere around 30 to 35 years old on The Summer I Turned Pretty, as in reality, she celebrated her 61st birthday this year. No one really had a clue that Jackie would be anything over 40, and that might be because of her flawless skin. In the past, she worked on quite a few projects and even appeared in Grey's Anatomy. Also, the most interesting thing about Jackie is that she has quite a huge presence on Instagram, and don't even get us started on her $1 million empire and luxurious lifestyle. Alfredo Nachizzo. Alfredo is playing the character of Cleveland on The Summer I Turned Pretty, and his role as an author is quite convincing. In fact, his feud with Laurel makes things a lot more spicy in the show. When it comes to his age, some sources claim that he is 33, while others declare him to be 48, so it isn't confirmed yet. And yes, he already is a millionaire with quite a successful movie career. Apart from all of this, Alfredo is pretty private and doesn't share much about his life on Instagram. He's hell-bent on his old-school ways, apparently, so no one really knows much about his love life and whether he ever got married or not. But as for now, Alfredo is single and a pretty eligible bachelor in Beverly Hills. Rachel Blanchard. Next on the list is Rachel Blanchard, playing the wise character of Jeremiah, and Conrad's mother has put the actress in quite a spotlight. Rachel's age on the show is mid-40s, which is pretty much the same as her actual age. Rachel turned 46 this year, and her character on the show is being loved by everyone. Rachel is a face that everyone saw all the time on the television while growing up, and seeing her play a teen mum was actually a pretty iconic moment for all the Rachel fans. Rachel is also pretty secretive about her life, unlike her character on the show. And even though she's married, no one really knows when and where she got married, so that's kind of mysterious. But all in all, her acting puts everyone in a trance, and she's still got her charm, which is good enough for us. Rain Spencer. Rain plays the character of Taylor, who is Belly's homie and BFF. They hang out all the time, and for playing one such part, Rain had to put a lot of work into her character. Also, being 23 and playing a 16-year-old girl didn't make things easy for her. Yeah, you heard it right. Rain is 23, and her character Taylor, as you already know, is around 16 years of age. An interesting thing about Rain Spencer is that she was a child actress, and she played important characters in The Garden and The Talking Head. But suddenly she stopped acting and took a very long break. No one knows where she was or what she was doing during the break, but some people say that she was pretty burned out. Rain isn't very active on Instagram and posts a couple of pictures on feed once in a while, but that's pretty much it. Christopher Briody. Christopher is playing the character of Conrad on the show, and literally everyone is obsessed with him, including Belly, who's hopelessly crushing over him. He's clearly one of the most good-looking characters on the show, and fans just can't stop gushing over him. When it comes to age, Christopher's character is 17 on the show, but in reality, he's nothing less than 22. But he portrayed the teenage carelessness perfectly, and don't even get us started on his wardrobe on the show. Moreover, you should definitely know that at such a young age and with a very short acting career, Christopher already is in the list of millionaire actors and is living a pretty bougie lifestyle. The best thing about him is his unique fashion sense, like when he nailed the Summer I Turned Pretty launch party in a bright yellow pantsuit. Gavin Cassidy. Gavin is literally the epitome of grace on the show, and he's Billy's best friend, which actually makes sense considering how insanely sweet he is. Gavin plays the character of Jeremiah, who's nothing more than 16 years of age, but in reality, Gavin himself is around 22 years old. Also, a very interesting thing about Gavin is that he's more than just an actor. He kind of is a sports head and gets his kick out of soccer. So when he's not starring in big projects, he's playing soccer and nailing it on the field. But just so you know, he only plays football for his passion and doesn't plan on making it professional anytime soon. While we're at it, you should also know that Gavin's girlfriend is very famous, even more than him. He's currently dating Larson Thompson, who's a TikTok star and model, and she kind of is a big deal on Instagram too. So good for them. Kaufman. Kaufman is seen on the show as Steven, who's constantly stressing over his college admission and is preparing for getting through it. He's roughly 17 or 18 during the first season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, but Sean Kaufman in reality is 22 years old and he has already graduated college. Also, people don't know much about his life because he's pretty secretive, but we do know that he debuted back in 2015 and is now starring in The Summer I Turned Pretty, so the progress he's made all these years is pretty impressive. Plus, he is living a pretty lavish lifestyle after playing significant parts in Law & Order and other projects. As for his marital status, he's single for now. Lastly, Sean nailed his character on the show, and it goes without saying that he has a lot of potential in him. Minnie Mills. Minnie is playing the character of Shayla, who's the love interest of Stephen on the show, and their romance makes things a lot more exciting. Just like the rest of the cast, Minnie is also playing the role of a teenage girl who's roughly 16 years old, but Minnie herself is aged at 20 years. However, her acting is pretty convincing and she looks a little too young, so that does the deed for the show. You would actually be surprised to know that after studying film and performing arts, Minnie has taken up a completely new field of interest. She's currently enrolled in BS Neuroscience and is pretty confident and passionate about this field. Interestingly, she's best friends with her co-star Sean Kaufman, who also is her love interest on the show. She often posts about him on her Instagram feed, and the duo is very chummy, so it could actually be a budding relationship, but for now, they're labeling it friendship, and we aren't complaining. Lola Ting. Lola Ting as Belly basically is the center of every conflict on The Summer I Turned Pretty. She's our it girl and is stuck in a pretty huge dilemma. The show takes us to a coming-of-age journey where Belly figures out her love life and breakups. Belly on the show is very young, hardly 16 years old, and it makes her take some rushed decisions too. Also, Lola Ting, playing the character of Belly, is pretty young too. She's just 19, so the innocence that this character needs is pretty natural and is ingrained in her nature. You should also know that Lola has a remarkable following on social media, and she's an influencer and model too. The Summer I Turned Pretty is her first project, and she's a lead in her first show, so we gotta say she's in the right direction so far. Moreover, not only is she acting and leading her own TV show, but is also studying drama and art in university and has just passed her first year. Despite being an influencer, Lola doesn't open up much about her personal life, and we still don't know about her relationship status. But she actually posts a lot about her friends and family, but tends to keep her love life very private. David Iacono. David Iacono is one of the youngest members of the cast in The Summer I Turned Pretty. He plays the character of Cam, who's in love with Belly and is her first boyfriend. He also is a part of the leading love triangle of this show, and his acting actually shook a lot of people. Cam, played by David, is just 16 years, like the rest of the leading cast. But in reality, he's 19, which isn't too old and makes David actually look very reliable for the role of Cam. Also, at such a young age, David isn't just an actor, but a model too. He's kind of a do-it-all because his dream is to direct and write movies someday. One thing that you should know about David is that he's an extrovert and he doesn't really like to stay in. And he's not very different from his character on The Summer I Turned Pretty. So who's your favourite person from the whole cast? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching.